We all know Markiplier. We all also love Mark's content.
Smash.
So, of course, when the opportunity presented itself with him making a follow-up to the infamous Smasher Pass Pokemon video with fusions instead, I decided to give a shot at remaking some of his
Smash.
into more competent sprites. After picking out some of the potentially most interesting, let's see what I can do to rework these into better looking, more able standards.
Look, I did. Smash.
I pulled together sprites for the fusion as reference, then get straight to creating the fusions. For all of the sprites I'll make today, I want to at least keep a hint of the initial auto-generated fusions that were created on the generator. But now back to more interesting stuff. First off, I just start out with drawing random sketches and laying out parts of the design until I get proportions and overall structure feeling just right. Since the first Pokemon is the so-called head that gives the details and color, while the other is called the body, which is used as the base for the shape, I move on to start adding specks of aspects from Furfo on Lucario's body, while at the same time finishing off the body shape and pose. Using the term being authentic to write off my laziness, I recycle the colors from both of the Pokemon sprites to use them in the sprite, but backtrack soon enough by changing up the tones anyways. Adding the final details such as the ears and eyes, it's time for the most satisfying part, shading. Since I don't have to be restricted to a strict amount of colors or anything similar for the regular Pokemon sprites, I can go ham with the shadows. Using a technique I've been starting to enjoy quite a bit, the process goes a bit like this. I apply shadows to the selected region with harsher, darker tones, then find a color between the two clashing ones and create a smooth looking transition effect. Half an hour of satisfaction later, I close off the first creation process by almost forgetting to create the metal spikes from Lucario. To give this a more grandiose feel, let's see the final result in Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Now that that's over, what now?
Smash.
Well, that's quite a peculiar taste, to say the least. Before diving into more friskier territories, let's clean our palette with a seemingly more innocent Pokemon fusion. You know how it goes. I gather a bunch of references which are the base forms of the two Pokemon, but this time, instead of sketching, I use one of the existing sprites to reshape and reconfigure the base to my liking. Replace the top pillar with Mew as the king of the castle, then keep playing into that self-forming lore by giving the Palisand more aesthetics related to the head of the fusion, which is Mew. Apply shadows and adjust the design even more before adding in the final touches of Mew related aspects by shoving an orb with a DNA strand in it, since, well, DNA and all of that is kind of Mew's ping. Throw some extra DNA visualization on top of the side pillars, which leaves us with now seeing the epic conclusion in the form of a, say it with me, fusion! Maybe Mark was cooking with the concept of the fusion? We'll find out soon enough. Well, that was pretty fun, but let's see what other cool stuff can Mark...
Smash.
Right. Salazges exists. You know what? Let's just play along with the goofiness and dive into the deep end. plenty of laying out and sketching the initial design later, I finally get somewhere with a rough combination of the both intriguing designs and decide to play into the appealing nature of these Pokemon, if you want to say that, since both of them are described plenty to either be beautiful or even straight up mentioning cases of harem in Salazges' case. I tone it down a bit and make the design act similar to beauty trainer classes, then move on by starting to color in the design and adding more details like skull petals on the head flower and flame patterns on the big leaves. Soon after that, I go through another round of satisfying polish with shading. After possibly indulging a bit too much into the process, the final fusion is ready for showcase. I mean, how bad can it possibly be? Let's just get it over with. On the bright side, we've made it to the final fusion for today in a pretty quick pace. Now to only see what's left.
Smash, yeah.
Huh. Well, the name checks out. You better not at least skip the final one. Have some respect for the most beautiful Pokemon out of them all. And I guess we got Salazzle too.
Smash.
One heavy modification of a sprite used for reference later, I quickly start applying cool aspects from Swoobat, such as the fur coat around the neck and shoulders, mini wings on its head and bigger wings around the waist area. But the real question is, have you caught the reference I'm poking at yet? Head down to the comment section and let the other master trainers who watch these videos know the answer. Or watch until the end to see the reveal. Back to designing, I finally get to splashing in the colors of our blue huggable bat friend into the design, which leads to also reworking the patterns on its belly by replacing the flame-like stripes with a poor attempt at drawing bats on such a small scale, adding in some glove-like boots and throwing some shade at the parts left with no shadows. Time to finally finish this cursed journey with a humble, good old fusion. Kind of high hopes for this one, let's see it. And that was all of my attempts at remaking the initially dead inside looking fusions that Markiplier would be really good friends with. Speaking of which, what do you think, Mark?
Pass.
Glad to hear you love them just as much as I appreciate y'all watching till the end. And since y'all are so great, I'm sure that you definitely knew that the reference Swoozle was pointing at was Capcom's character Morrigan. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for more great content.